thought I was going with it. Anyone who's heard me speak before, I'm going to say the same thing I always start with. I'm going to answer a question I posed to myself yesterday morning. Why on earth am I standing here today to speak? Because the last thing I really want to do is get up and speak. But there's 3 strands to why I said yes to it, because the main thing, and I'll always start with this, is that my bones are trade union. My whole life has been about trade unionism because of where I come from, my dad and his job as a doctor. So that goes without saying. And I know, as an individual, I have no power whatsoever. But as an individual, as part of a collective, that is where I have strength to fight off the attacks on my terms and conditions and the way my job operates. So that's the first part of it, and I always say that. I think it's really important because so many young people that we get in our classrooms now are just not politicised at all, and we have to remind them about how hard the unions fought for what we've got, and a lot of it slipped away in the Thatcher years, so we have to hold on to what we've got. The second reason I decided to say something, apart from the fact no one else would, was that 20 odd years ago, when I was only in my 30s, and pensions meant nothing to me at that point, I had 2 kids under 10, I was looking to become full-time in the job I do. I did what I was being asked to do as a decent citizen, to pay into a pension so that hopefully at the end of a job that's quite hard, that's, you know, I don't get paid a massive salary like some people in the private sector do, I would have a decent pension, so I wouldn't have to take as much out of the government money that goes to people who are worse off than me, who've done jobs like my mum did, cleaning and stuff like that. So I did the right thing and I joined, and I could never afford it. You can never afford extra money, you pay it out. And I paid it, and I've paid it for 20 years to a pension that doesn't request anything of the government, it's self-sustaining, it's paying for itself, and I put a lot of money in, so that's the second reason. And the third reason I said I'd speak is because I'm going to say for a very selfish reason, and there's nothing wrong occasionally with being selfish. It's not a dirty word. I don't want to have worked in teaching for 30 odd or whatever it'll be, maybe 40 years by the time you know, I retire, and have nothing at the end of it. To sit at home, terrified to put the heating on, worrying about bills, not being able to do anything that I like to do, going to the cinema, going to the theatre, because I can't afford to do it. And what the government is asking me to do, and all my colleagues and all of you, is to take less at the end, to work longer, and to pay more into it. That's not on, it's not fair. We're a democratic society, and that isn't right. And the other reason... selfishness and wanting to retire at a reasonable age so I can enjoy it. My dad died at 61 the minute he retired, after a long hard life on the docks. So I want that time, but if I get a chance to retire handy, then younger people can come into my profession and have a job. And that's great, isn't it? Because there's nothing out there for them. So that's why I agreed to speak. And it's marvellous to be a part of something like this, because I think the thing about trade unionism is you know you're not alone. And that is so important, because we feel isolated, and we're made to feel like that by the government and by other people. And people who cross the picket line today, and there weren't many, but their argument will always be that at this time of year it's not good for students. And I'm highly insulted when they say that to me, because they're inferring that I don't care about my students. I do. I go the extra mile, and the only person I'm inconveniencing today is me, because I don't teach on a Thursday, and all the paperwork I would have got done, I'm not going to get done. So thank you very much for letting me speak.